What's up everybody, this is Vince with MarvelousMarketing.online, here with another video today on how to deal with difficult clients as a social media manager, agency, or a freelancer. I've been a social media manager for about 5 years now, and I've met some great, fantastic clients. But I've also met someone that are like, not as easy to deal with. So in this video today, I'm going to cover those topics. I'm going to give you my best tips and strategies on how I've dealt with difficult clients. So if you're into those kinds of things, then keep on watching this video. Before we get started in today's video, I want to make sure you already hit the like button, you're already subscribed, and you already hit the notification bell so you're notified every single time I release a video on growing your business and growing your online presence through digital marketing. Now let's get into it. First of all, great job. It's not easy getting clients for your business, especially paying clients. It's probably one of the hardest things to do when it comes to starting your business. But once you find the clients, you start getting more and more clients, you're gonna come across some that they seem great at first, but something happens or something comes up and they're just not as great as you thought they were. Although most of them are great, but what do you do when you first encounter a client that's not as easy to work with? With that, here are my 5 steps in dealing with difficult clients. Step number 1, get everything in writing. Absolutely everything. Verbal agreements are great, and when you get a verbal agreement, you're probably able to start the job faster, but you need to get signed contracts and things laid out in writing so you know exactly what you're supposed to do. These contracts lay out absolutely everything that you're doing for them. That way you set expectations for both parties. When you sign a contract together, your client won't expect anything outside of those guidelines, and you know exactly what you're gonna give your client. For me, as a social media manager and a content creator, I do a lot of videos, a lot of photos. So what I like to do before I even perform the job when I'm signing a contract, I tell them exactly how long the video is gonna take, when and how I'm gonna edit it, when they should expect it, where they can download it. I basically set all of the expectations. Let's say, for example, I tell them the video is gonna get done in 2 weeks. It's gonna take me 2 weeks to edit it, 2 weeks to send it to them. But I get it done in 1 week. That client's gonna be super happy because here I am saying, oh, it's gonna take 2 weeks. And so they got it sooner than they expected. And when you set expectations, you're able to exceed them, which is not only better for you, but also better for your client. And they're really grateful that they did work with you. Also, make sure you keep all emails, all texts, any notes between yourself and your clients, just in case something happens later down the line and you have it there as documentation. Number 2, always keep calm. Keeping calm in emotional situations are hard. Let's say a client is yelling at you, they're angry because they thought something was gonna happen and it didn't. So what do you do in those situations? The first thing is you have to keep calm. Even if the client is outright rude and just attacking you personally, you must remain calm. Take a step back, take a deep breath, and breathe first of all. Really analyze the situations and don't react off of emotion. Here's what you can say to them. Keep a calm tone of voice and say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Client, let me ask you something. Is there something going on in your life that caused you to personally attack me like that, to say those things to me? Is it something I did, or is there something else going on in your life? We can talk about it. If there's something that I'm causing you to act this way, then let me know so we can talk about and discuss it so the situation gets better. Let them know that you're there to listen to them. It shows that you're being empathetic. You're letting them know that you're there to help them. By saying that and talking to your client about it, your client will either change their behavior, move on from the situation, or even apologize. By doing this, you're setting your expectations. You're letting your client know that, hey, that's not how you talk to me. That's not right. So let's address the situation and move on from it so we can continue the business. By addressing the problem immediately, you're able to both carry on with the job. Key number 3, step number 3, never, ever, ever argue with them. You know how it is when people argue with you. Or when you argue with somebody, are you listening or are you just arguing back to get your point across? Are you really listening to what that person is saying? Same situation goes when it comes to your clients. When they're mad, they're arguing, they're trying to argue with you, they're yelling at you. If you do the same thing back to them, they're not going to listen to you. So what can you do in this situation? Show them you understand the situation. Look at them in the eyes and say, hey, I understand where you're coming from. Tell them that they're justified in their anger and you're here to help them resolve the issue. When clients become upset and they're mad, they just want to be heard. They want to know the situation is going to be rectified. You need to be understanding, open your ears, and listen to them more in trying to help the situation. Number 4, apologize. And I know what you're telling me. You're like, oh, why should I apologize if it's not my fault? I didn't do anything wrong. It's their fault. They're the ones who did it, but they're your client. You need to be there for them. Even apologize, even if it's not your fault. What I know in my situations, when I've apologized in the beginning, it helps to show the client that you care even more. You're shouldering the blame for the whole situation. When someone is paying you for your service, they're expecting a certain type of job to be done. And of course, it's okay for them to be mad when they don't feel like the job is done right. So the best route, the best tip for you here is just to apologize. Like, tell them, hey, I'm sorry that this didn't work out correctly. What can we do to fix the situation? When you apologize, you shoulder the blame. You definitely show them that you're empathetic and you're willing to solve the situation. In my experience, the client immediately calmed down. Be apologetic, just apologize. And tip number 5, if you can't solve the problem, if the client won't listen to you, is to escalate the problem to your supervisor, your lead, or your manager. I know this is hard because sometimes you feel like you need to resolve every situation on your own. But if you're able to and get another person's opinion on the situation, it can be so helpful. Let the manager step in, let the lead step in, and learn from the situation. This can better help you if the situation ever pops up later down in life, but you're able to correct it on your own and you won't need your manager. If all of this fails and the client continues to act out poorly, continue to call you names, and isn't helping you resolve the situation, here's what you should say to them. Tell them you don't know if you've done something to offend them, but if you have, ask them to tell you so you can apologize. But even if you do apologize, make it clear that you both need to be civil with one another in order to perform the job and get the job done. By doing this, they either can correct their behavior and start treating you correctly, or they can go and find someone else who can perform the job for them. Remember this, there is never any dollar amount to sacrifice your dignity. When you get rid of clients that aren't treating you well, you leave room for more clients that definitely will treat you well and maybe even pay you more. You are not a servant when you provide a service, period. And if a client decides to treat you like a servant, then they're not good for you anyway. Move on with your life, find the clients that won't do that to you. In my experience alone over the past 5 years, I've met a bunch of clients who have treated me well and some who haven't. And honestly, when I let go of the ones that didn't treat me well, I was able to find more clients that fit me more, that fit me better, and I was able to excel my business even more. And so don't hold on to any clients just because they're paying you money. Because in the end, you're sacrificing your pride, your dignity just for that one job, when you can definitely find somebody else that will pay you money and treat you better. Remember that. I hope this video helped you in learning how to deal with difficult clients. Please make sure you share this with a friend that will also benefit from this video. Make sure you already hit the like button and you're already subscribed. And don't forget, be marvelous.